Hey, it's DBJ. Um, Continuation off of my very personal video about infestations. And this one is about how the oddest and most bizarre things become the new normal. And someone actually asked me about how do you do a dungeon crawl in the city and in an urban area. And this is just making me think about the kind of combining the two together about infestations. What I mean by an infestation is taking a classic monster, whether it's like an undead, whether like rot grubs or a plague, a disease, a anything out of the bestiary, non-human, maybe small, maybe it could be insects or ants, plant life or something, and it has infested an area to the point that the people and the environment have become used to its existence. Let me give you an example. Uh, the show The Walking Dead is a perfect example of an infestation that people become used to. The environment changes. You know, technology isn't the way it used to be. You're searching in people's empty homes. You're being careful about making noise. There's the undead everywhere. There's zombies walking around. People are used to wearing armor, carrying weapons, looking for gasoline, trying to find fruits and veggies, being wary of strangers, and it changes one thing has changed the entire environment. Another way of an infestation would be, say, of course, you have the undead, you have disease as well. Maybe there's a disease that infects, of course, you start out with the small village, but it can start to infect a big city to the point where this city is used to dealing with this disease. Maybe the symptoms of the disease are that their skin starts to grow sores and their eyes change color. Maybe their speech patterns change, or there could be something mystical. Maybe strange symbols appear in their skin or their forehead. Their hair color changes and goes pure white even if they're very young. Something like that. And the people in the city become almost not immune to its effects, but they know to deal with it. Okay, they quarantine those individuals. Maybe those people are taken out, whether they're dead or alive, and killed or burned, buried. Whole groups of clerics and acolytes and parishioners surround these people to maybe do something, try to heal them, or maybe remove the curse that's from them. You can play. There are some creatures that make great infestation creatures. A lot of the oozes, a lot of the smaller insects, rats taking over, something like that. And that can be a great way to modify what would be normally a simple village, a simple town. And the characters don't necessarily have to be the heroes in this regard. I'm not talking about the characters, your player characters, coming into town and removing the infestation, but the characters coming into town and realizing that this is an infestation and there may not be anything they can do about it. They might be helpless to solve it in a large scale. Let's say there's a cleric in the group, or some kind of healing or removing disease or poison, and they can help a few people, but there are legions behind them. Maybe the city guard requests the aid of the characters to do nothing but remove dead bodies, or to fight off a larger infestation in a particular area of the city, only to tell the player characters, well, there's nothing you can do. We've tried everything, so don't worry about it. We'll handle it. Go about your business. They could be refused entry into the city unless they are taking particular precautions, covering their mouth, wearing particular holy symbols to keep the curse away. Player characters may have symptoms of this disease and not know it. It could be that one of the characters has red hair, and red hair is a symptom. Maybe one of the player characters is a cleric, and that symbol is etched on the skin of those that are affected, and they think that this cleric is a spawn of this curse and causing it. Now, I say curse because it could be that other than making the people sick and ill, maybe there's something else that happens. Maybe it transforms them. Maybe this infestation isn't just a traditional earthbound disease or poison or something or spore, but maybe it transforms them into another creature. Something very common in our culture are the idea of curses, especially in a Greek Roman mythology. Plenty of curses. Someone does something, the gods don't like it, they're cursed. And you could extrapolate out that quote-unquote curse by saying, hey, well, this village was cursed, this city was cursed, this area of town was cursed, and the people ignored the warnings to stay away, and now it affects everyone. You've got your general curses such as, curses such as lycanthropy, the Medusa, the Minotaur being cursed and changed into something. But what if a whole community was changed? You know, if you got a city, small city of 10,000, and 500 of these people are werewolves or were-rats or something. Maybe they can transform. You can pick any creature you want. Maybe there's some kind of a disease. Like, what's the movie? 28 days and 28 weeks later. And when blood gets on them, they change into a big red-skinned rampaging ogre. It can be anything like that. But the idea that I'm getting across, or trying to get across here, about an infestation is that the infestation itself is the environment. It is the thing that will challenge your players to not only overcome, but to accept the fact that there really isn't anything they can do about it. And to know that the people who live here and their lives have changed, and maybe the player characters themselves begin to change as they interact with these people. It's many times, especially in apocalypse style stories, movies, books, you get the idea that, you know, hey, well, we think suicide is wrong until you are placed in a particular situation. We think killing innocent people is wrong until you are placed in a particular environment or situation where those decisions become the norm. And this could really challenge your players dramatically and role-playing wise, and will allow you to maybe even make a spin on some, what we would consider some pretty basic creatures, oozes, gray oozes, rot grubs, maybe some of the more humanoid creatures that are spawned not from biology, but from a curse or from a disease or from a spore. Anyway, it's 2 cents on that. Thanks, guys. And as always, let's try to be creative, not destructive.